All right, it's 6 o'clock. I'll call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Lehman.
Here.
Underwood.
Here.
Gilman.
Yep.
Korn is absent and excused. Hazel.
Present. Okay, we have a quorum. All right, next item is approval of the agenda. I don't have any blue sheet. Do any members of the board wish to add?
Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second. A motion by Commissioner Gilman, supported by Commissioner Underwood to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes. Conflict of interest. Do any members of the board have any conflict of interest regarding any items on the agenda? Saying none. Next item is public comment. Does anyone wish to make any public comment? If so, please allow Kylie to read the rules, and when you come up, please state your name and you'll have 3 minutes. So go ahead, Kylie.
Any person may make an advance appointment with the board regarding road commission topics for a regular or special meeting in accordance with the Open Meetings Act. If an appointment is made, the topic will be an agenda item. The following applies to public comments. Please state his or her name and township or district. Topics must be relevant to the road commission. Individuals are allowed to speak once for up to 3 minutes on a single topic, which may be extended by the chair. A group addressing the board requires a designated spokesperson who may speak up to 10 minutes. The board will not act on any item from the public that is not on the agenda.
Thank you. Can you come up? Please state your name and your 3 minutes.
I have a handout I gave to the clerk there. I will get that in front of you guys because you can follow along with me a little bit that way.
Okay.
My name is Rick Venner. I'm a Grand Traverse County resident. I'm also a founding member of the Grand Traverse Safe Streets Alliance. I brought you an Art of the Possible renderings for Frankie. They were done professionally and reviewed for accuracy. It is the Alliance's humble attempt to help all interested parties arrive at a win-win outcome for our community. And if you look at the concepts, really most of it speaks to just calming of Frankie, calming of the traffic, making it safer. There's been talk of a crosswalk, so the renderings are in there for that as well. It narrows the road a little bit and reduces, for instance, the crossing on Silver Lake Road from 120 feet to 90 feet and takes away from what appears to be a turning lane, although it's a shoulder. So it's safer for all users. Again, that's what we're trying to do here, is make the road safer for all users and appeal calls. Folks, if you look at farther down, we eliminate the middle turning lane because it's unnecessary and narrow the road and again calm traffic through there. So I sent you a few renderings. My printer, I apologize, my printer was running out of ink at my home computer. But if you'd like to see some really decent in-depth drawings or more information on this, on the handout is a business card. On the back is our website. I also wrote on the top of the paper there, the gtsafestreets.org, where you can actually look at these renderings in better detail. I'm also here, I see on the agenda, Grand Traverse Safe Streets Alliance, so I'm here to represent that. If you have questions, I'll be along for that as well. But I thank you for what you do and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I'm Robert Mead, 4500 East Duck Lake Road in Guam. I'm going to pass these out again. Pretty good. Good. I'm here. I'll try to make this brief. I apologize for not being on the agenda. This came up just yesterday, and not sure if there's anything to be done about it at this point. But I, as you might remember, I'm in the process of trying to acquire that little elbow property to the east of where all those condominiums are, duplexes that we're looking to build. I got news today from Dan Watkins that it looks like we might come to an agreement on that. The issue that came up just yesterday to me was the fact that we're moving forward, getting ready to submit to the town of, to Blair Township. And, I need to get there's all these, driveways that exit onto Brook Street and if you look on the second page, there's a Brook Street, which is a side street, part of what used to be called Blackwood. It's now gone, but Blackwood development. And then there's a gravel road that we call an alley. Up until now, we weren't really sure who owned that. It looks like, it is, owned by the County Road Commission, both the alley and Brook Street. What I'm trying to do is find out if I'm going to be able to put, driveways as they look on the drawings on there to make sure that I can fit the units in. The plat as it is today has a number of driveways on it, but those go to mobile homes. There's a lot of light on that in that area. I'm trying to clean it up. My intent is to get the mobile homes replaced with these duplexes. There's also a dilapidated building there. There's actually two dilapidated buildings. My intent is to take all those down and then build them with affordable home duplexes. But in order to do that, I need to be able to get the homes to be able to park next to their homes, have to have access with driveways on Brook Street and on that alley. So, it's stopping that is stopping me from being able to submit the entire plan to Blair Township right now. And I was not sure if the board was able to take any type of action on that. I understand that that's atypical, and I understand if you can't do that, and I'll have to wait a month. But trying to move forward with this project and wasn't ready for that. I don't know, Dan, if you have anything you want to add to that? No.
Yeah, what the issue popped up here is that it varies from our standards. We're allowed 2 driveways per parcel. So the amount of driveways that they want to put in there doesn't meet our standards for the number of parcels that they have.
Parcels meaning the entire,
It's 3 separate parcels.
Yeah,
in there?
I'm combining it right now. It's about 7 parcels in there, but I'm combining them into one as a condominium. And when I do that, it only allows me to it shrinks it all the way down just to 2, which I can't do without a variance from the County Road Commission.
But it's coming out on Brooks. It's not like it's coming out on.
Yeah, it's not a major thoroughfare.
It's coming out of Brooks and it's coming out on that alley.
Yeah.
how
Which
many,
comes out on, it's there.
Right.
33, but that's still connected as it is.
how many driveways do you anticipate?
9 on each side.
9 on each side?
Yes,
Right now on page 2, looks like there are driveways coming out of.
there are. There are a number of driveways coming out right now, but when I go to change this, those don't get grandfathered in.
It technically messes it up.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, these are site condos, this kind of stuff. I mean,
So, Mr. Mead, we can't do anything at today's meeting because it's not an item on the agenda, but we can, Dan, if all the paperwork is in order by December meeting, we can have it either at the, if we have a special meeting, we can have it at a special meeting as an item, or we can have it at the regular meeting if we don't have a special meeting.
and before he goes, I mean, and typically in public comment, we don't have a lot back and forth.
Right,
Okay.
Yeah.
understood.
But now you're going to the planning commission for Blair
Mhm.
and they're gonna approve your site condo plan. Do they require something from us before they do that?
They want to have a preliminary approval. It doesn't have to be formally approved, but they wanted to know that there would be approval before they went ahead and put their time back. I just found, so that's why I'm here tonight.
Yeah,
When's their December 11th.
well, you can give them the sense of one of the commissioners. I tend to support things like this and I don't.
One of the things you can also ask the planning commission, if they're inclined to do so, is to make their approval contingent upon approval from the road commission, which is done for you as well.
I'll try that.
Yeah.
They did mention to me that they weren't going to look at the packet if I wasn't completed. So they said they would take a preliminary approval.
I think this is are we going to discuss this now?
Not during public comment.
Yeah.
We are not.
Well, I'll bring it up later then.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else who wishes to make a public comment? Okay, so we're gonna close public comments and we are going to move on to the action item. There are none. So, but we'll move on to the consent calendar. Kylie.
The consent calendar is used to expedite business by grouping non-controversial items together without discussion. Request by any person present to remove any item from the consent calendar for full discussion as an agenda item are automatically respected. The action noted in parentheses for all items remaining on the consent calendar are approved by a single commission action adopting the consent calendar. The manager recommends the following items be adopted. 1, minutes, 2, payroll, 3, accounts payable, 4, financial reports, and 5, communications.
Thank you. Do any members of the board wish to remove any item from the consent calendar? Does anyone from the public wish to remove any item from the consent calendar? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a
I'll make a
motion.
motion to approve this consent calendar. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Underwood, supported by Commissioner Lehman to approve the consent calendar. Roll call, please.
Underwood,
Yes.
Elman,
Yes.
Horn is absent and excused. Lehman,
Yes.
Chasm.
Yes. Motion passes. We'll move on to item 7D, reports. Do any commissioners wish to discuss any items from the staff report? While you guys are looking, I had a question, Dan, on page 51 under township projects for Hampshire Hills SAD. It says that the low bid was submitted by Elmer's Crane, and then it goes on to say that the contract was approved and awarded to J&N Construction.
Janet was.
Yeah, Janet wasn't.
So Elmer's was not the low bid, right? Okay, that's what I thought. But then I went further down the packet. I was like, well, it was J&N. So I just wanted to make sure that that was just like a typo. Just a point of clarification, the Herkner Road signal modernization, is that what we were installing the new signal with the sensor detection?
Yes, yeah, it's the Fed Aid project there in front of the school.
So it's done and
They're still working on it, but
okay.
There's still bags over there.
Yeah, there's still, do you know what the anticipated date is for completion?
I know there's still something on back order, some sort of wiring to connect it all together. So they're still trying to get it done for the end of the year, I know. But I know like big process from steps have been completed.
Okay. Does anyone else have one question?
It's been better there now with the detour traffic. I mean, the light still isn't right, we still have the old lights, but it was, there were a lot of complaints about what was happening there at the school. And now that the 31 is open, it's definitely better.
The traffic is substantially lower on that road and also Cedar Run and Gray. So I think that's just a function of the construction projects being over, and also we are almost in December. So a lot of people have also moved toward the south for the winter. So any other questions? All right, we'll move on to item E, Commissioner updates on any meeting they have had within the last month. I'll start with Commissioner Nunes.
My only update is from Garfield. They are about to approve another pilot. And I was going to ask Bill tonight, but I didn't get here soon enough to. They're continuing to, they're very supportive. Garfield's very supportive of pilots, the payment in lieu of taxes. And to me, that's a little bit of a burden shift. You take these housing developments and they're saying, well, it helps the people live there, but all the people they move in use our roads. And yet we're not going to get our share of taxes from the roads like we would. We don't apparently have a say in that. The townships have. They can just tell the developer they'll take that, and then our revenues are reduced. So Garfield is kind of big on that, and they're adding another 1 or 2 or 3.
Commissioner Gilman?
Couple, we got course, we went to the Acme Township, and they're just, uh, they're looking for more updates on their changes to the primary, couple of primary roads. Other than that, really not a heck of a lot going on out there. Old Bunyan meeting this last Thursday. I'll give you some bullet points. There's some issues with the Ashtoware. The Michigan, the bridge projects, there's about 400 million looking to be spent, but there's only about 50 million available for the bridges for 2028. And that of course will get worse as time goes on. Road conductor is available. Just a reminder, CRA, the next meeting is December 10th, and you were looking for somebody to go.
I was planning on going,
You're planning-
unless I have a meeting here.
I got you. Okay, so we have what they call the largest road funding package increase in history for Michigan. 2 billion more. They were hoping to get about 3, and 54% of it's gonna be 54% more for counties. However, there are some caveats. Some of that, so we have to relook at how we do sharing with the townships according to the way they have this written out. We're gonna have to kind of nail this down. Pretty much we can do the same thing, but we have to kind of explain it better. There's a challenge to the Mary Jo tax. So the neighborhood roads fund, and that's considerable. It's a considerable amount of money, and it's going to hold up some of the payments to us probably until next October. So, and there are some other things that are going to happen. We might actually have less in the first part of the year than we had in this part of the year. You're on top of this anyway, so you know this, which is good. So anyway, there's that. Let's see. So yeah, so marijuana taxes in court. So then Treasury is really wanting to hold it all until 2027, until it's all settled. Well, yeah, we'll see how that goes. We have to reconsider how we renegotiate the township agreements. It's still going to work out better for us. We are going to have more money for our local roads anyway, but how we match it now is going to be a little different. They may just have to kick in a little bit, and we'll be doing a little bit more though, I think.
Are they required to match under the?
Well, yeah, so that hasn't changed. So we still have a 50%,
Well, we still do.
Well, there's a limit to how much of Act 51 money we can use, which is
On the neighborhood road.
yeah, and they
On the neighborhood roads.
MTF, we have to get 50% match
Yeah.
to build or rebuild a
Yeah.
road. The neighborhood road funds, we don't have to have that.
Right.
But we can still ask for it.
We still ask for it. So,
But that's the one that's up on
Yeah.
court, right?
well, right.
The funding,
The funding for it,
portion
right.
is the
marijuana.
marijuana, and the corporation tax.
Right.
Let's see. We're MRSUP is happy. They're 500,000 below last year at this point as far as money out the door. And of course, the snowmobiling thing is still a thing, and our carriers recommend that we do not permit road grooming, etc., which I do agree with. It just puts us into a situation we don't have to do that. And if we do it, she says, then try to find a way to get permission from the homeowners along the way or some such thing. Let's see. Eagle's adding some acreage to the wetland mitigation program. And they want to get 10 more acres per watershed added on to it. And the last thing is, we have our legislative priorities. If any of you guys want to take a look at the CRA legislative priorities here, I imagine we could probably download it elsewhere, but that's here. Anybody needs to take it out or take copies. there was, one item added to new business as far as the legislative priorities go. And that is that, we have some commissioners and some road agencies, county road agencies that are getting a little frustrated about Act 51 being used as the cudgel, to keep us in line when we don't get something done in time. So for compliance, what they're doing is there's money being withheld from us for compliance, Act 51 monies, which statutorily, I think it's wrong. Because when the legislature says you get these Act 51 monies, well, then you get these Act 51 monies. There's no agency that can override what the legislative action is. And so the new business is to pursue a major correction on this and to hold these agencies that try to, that are withholding our Act 51 monies when we miss a deadline, for example. They're literally holding money from some of the county road commissions.
It's an MDOT regulation or an
Well,
administrative rule.
Okay, it's an administrative.
No, I'm asking, is that what it is?
They're using it. I don't know if it's an administrative rule. I mean, that's at his point is he wants to basically, as a legislative priority, nail it down and say, hey, look, you cannot do this specifically. Right now, it's just ignored. So other than that, and then the Mackinac, one of the commissioners from Mackinac wants to do he wants to have another rural road alliance, basically a collection of as far as I know, Paul Bunyan. It's pretty much that, but he wants something to lobby a little bit more on behalf of the smaller rural counties as well. So
I don't think we are considered rural anymore. Are we?
well, no, we're not. We're a metropolitan.
Yeah, we have no metropolitan.
So I don't even know if we would qualify under that. Other than that, that's it for me.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Commissioner Lewis.
Did a couple things. Kylie and I were at the communication, seminar meetings, whatever, workshop, whatever you want to call it. They had some pretty good suggestions on the website, which I've given to Dan, he probably has too, on how to make that a little more friendly and modernized. For example, you have to download your permit, fill it out, scan it in, then you can load it up, and then you can pay it. When it probably should just be fill in, click submit, click pay, you're done. Little things like that. So make it a little more modernized. We did have a couple of sessions on emergency response and how to do that. Some of those areas up in the ice storm were caught behind, like they didn't have backup generators. They didn't have things like that in their facility. I know what we do. They did suggest we may want to look into rapid radios, because when the cell towers went down, they used rapid radios to communicate with the crews on how to move things around, because there was no other way to communicate with them for 3 or 4 days. So that was an interesting one. We did have a road funding session. So enough road funding with us. And of course, how to communicate with our elected officials, which we do a pretty good job, 2 of the 3. The third one doesn't even acknowledge our existence. So that was a pretty good one. I did attend the MTA, the township's annual meeting where they give each other awards, and represented us here there, and Elise was there too. Did some township things. I did have a interview with the student on the Black and Gold. They wanted to interview a commissioner. I forgot to ask for a copy of it, so I'll try it when they publish that, see how it turned out. And then Paradise, we did my townships. Paradise Township again wants to change one of their primary roads to match up with that light now. Fife Lake Village and Kingsley are very appreciative of our cooperation, whatever you want to call it, where we kind of help them out. They have to pay us back, but they had an issue. I don't know if that got resolved or not, Dan, but I know I gave her your information to talk about trees and things like that. And other than that, I did attend the Frankie Road meeting, which Dan will talk about his stuff, I assume. And Keep them busy.
All right, thank you. Move on to item acting commissioners discussion. Aside from what we have talked about, are there any other matters that any of the commissioners wish to discuss?
I'd like to bring Mr. Mead's proposal back kind of open.
Okay.
If we, what do you know, this is how I feel. If we allow all these driveways in these short spans, this is not going to be the first. We're going to see more of these because this type of housing is becoming more popular. As land gets more expensive around Traverse City, it's higher density. There's a lot of driveways there. And a lot of driveways typically don't make the roads safer. I wonder in this area if we would consider selling him the streets. They're short, we really don't need them. And then he could have the amount of driveways off of them that he needs.
That's a legit options.
I mean, that,
This is just, I just heard his.
Especially
He's not here. He left.
Yeah,
He left. Okay.
yeah, especially the gravel alley. I'm not even sure
Well,
what we're doing.
Brook Street's a mess.
Yeah.
You're right.
Is Brook Street gravel too?
No, it's
No,
sort of
it should be.
hardship, kind of paved, kind of,
Yeah,
bad.
it's a mess.
but I think our driveway
That's not understandable.
standards
Yeah.
specifically try to prevent stuff like this where all the people are backing in the roads, even though they're very low volume roads. So I would just brainstorming in the 3 seconds we've had here. I don't know that we need these, and I would suggest we would consider something like,
What about the fact that 633 Brook Street provides a connection from 633 to
Yeah, that's
State Street without going all the way to 31?
well, there's also a connection back south of that.
That's not.
The other end of the corner.
Okay,
Yeah, the other end, it goes through town past the post office.
That's a hard turn. Do you have wheels on rail there, but they're using that road for the parking lot?
Yeah, which without our
Yeah.
permission, right?
What's
I think the township is even that. There's no specific,
Yeah,
there's no specific thing, but if we sold it to him, then he would have, then he could do what he needs. I'm brainstorming and I would like you guys to consider that because I don't think we should have a lot of driveways in that short of space. So that's what I think our driveway standards are fairly reasonable.
Well,
Who owns the land where wheels on rails are?
I'm done.
It's in the rail corridor.
That's that.
And so wheels on rails are there because MDOT allows them to.
Correct.
And no one else can put anything else on that piece of property.
And I don't know, that rail line has a new owner, which is actual rail company. And their attitude has changed, so I don't know if they're gonna want to continue to use that rail or not. Yeah. But it is an actual rail company now that owns multiple short lines throughout the country. And they're very
The
serious.
thing I find weird is they control the signals there when the traffic's trying to go north and south on our road. They stop the traffic and move all the rails across like they want for a train. They have some sort of system they're using without our permission, I think, because it might.
MDOT's commission.
I mean, I see, I mean, it's a legitimate point. I'm just thinking about, is there room for this area, for more development in this area?
Well, in our area, general. Well, I would say not.
No, I'm talking about this specific area where, yeah, I mean, there's a piece of property on the, well, I don't know which direction these are, but
That'd be to the east.
this is
Oh, yeah.
south, this is north, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so east of 633, there's a vacant parcel there. I don't know who owns that. I just am reluctant to give up our right of way in an area that could potentially see additional future development and we may need more access points. But I mean, like I said, I don't know what the potential for more further development is.
Well, we could keep the 633 right away
Well, we'll definitely,
Yeah.
even 633 right away. I'm talking about just giving up Brook Street that serves as a connector between 633 and State Street.
But there's another one a block away. I mean,
Right, yeah, but my point being that is if this area is going to have additional developments of this type of what is being proposed here, would we be limiting ourselves to just having one connector, or as the traffic in this area increases?
That's a lot of red. Okay, there it is.
We're loading in.
Well, I look at it this way, and I mean, I think we look at it particularly because it is a connector between two streets or two of our roads. But being that development is literally going to occupy that, that entire strip, and there isn't going to be any other development on that strip. And it takes what might be a sizable repair cost, and it allows him to do something a little differently in terms of a different standard for a private road.
Well, keep in mind that what's the right of way there? 33? Is it 66, 33 from the center line?
Yeah, sorry, I was taking a second there because it's kind of a deal where 633 has that extra one trying to purchase that property from us.
Yeah.
So it's kind of,
Yeah, the sliver, right?
yeah,
Corner.
so that part's not 33, but I believe the rest of it would be 33.
But Brook Street is the right of way 66, 33 from center line.
It's like a flat, the way the,
Probably is.
the no tax roll
I believe it is.
is.
So it's a platted.
Site condo.
Yeah, because the MDOT property has to lie outside of the plat, but I don't know if this is showing if the yellow lines are showing the plat boundaries, that is going on to what's supposed to be the MDOT property. I'm not sure what this is representing. But anyways, as if it's outside the plat, and hypothetically speaking, if we sell our property and they bring a vacation action, 33 feet from the center line on their side goes to MDOT anyways. It doesn't get the entire 66 feet, assuming that's the 63 feet. But anyways, I mean, that's just a point. Yeah, I mean, that's a thought. My concern is that I don't know what the future holds for this area and how much further development there will be. And if there's increased traffic in that area in the next 10 years, do we really want to give up a road that could potentially be used to ease up or some traffic congestion issues? So
I certainly would like to figure out a way to this guy because housing's needed.
yeah, I mean, I don't have an objection to him if he's requesting a variance. I would probably not have an objection to that, but I think giving up a right of way requires further discussion.
What do we have to require him to do?
I believe.
Yeah, fix it.
I thought we don't give the variance either. Isn't it the engineer that grants the variance?
If the board would probably have to get the engineer, they're okay to sign
Yeah.
off on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any requirements like we do with the development where they have to improve certain areas and turning and
I think he has plans to repave that section and pave the gravel one. He hasn't submitted anything, that just conversations that I've had.
So he wants to repave this our section.
I haven't seen anything formal. I mean, passing conversations, so like he was planning on improving the roadway if he built this in there, so.
no problem, not a problem. Well, drive. I mean, other than that's gonna fill them all in, but.
It's, it's our standard, but it's so low volume, low traffic. I don't know that it necessarily causes any immediate concern.
Okay. Any other discussion on any other matters? Any other commissioners? Dan, I just had a quick question. The signs that we had ordered for Cedar Run, I thought that we had them. When do we plan on installing them?
Yeah, we were scheduled to go out there and install all of those, and we had Mystic go out there. And something weird came out of that they ran conduit all the way down through there, the electrical company did. And they have plans of pulling wire and stuff through there, but it didn't set off any of the Mystics because there's no wire in there, active live wire. But if we were to start putting our post in there, we were gonna go through conduits that they already had ran in there for power. So this is kind of an ongoing issue.
So an electrical company installed conduits within our right of way?
Should we
Without,
not have an as-built or, I mean,
I don't think.
don't they require a permit? They require a
I'm sure
permit.
they have, I'm sure it's permitted.
Okay, so we would have records of those conduits being installed within the right of way.
I mean, we don't have. We have 33 feet. We don't have exact locations where they're at. So we always, before we do any digging, we have Misty go out and mark them. But it didn't set anything off because there's no extra wires in there. But that triggered, it sends it out to like all the companies, the gas companies, electric companies, just saying, hey, you're doing something in this area. Let's make it Mystic permit. Do you have anything there? Like, oh yeah, we have this in there.
So what's the solution?
That's ongoing.
Can they temporarily-
Our plan.
can they temporarily plant a signal or a wire or something that we could, that at least Mystic could identify?
That's something I need to follow back up on, and work more on. That was the last that I had was that we were headed out there and we got told.
There has to be a way for, or even the electrical company would have their plans on where they install their conduit. Right? I mean, they would know exactly where they put it.
It was like a confusing thing because normally they have wire through there and that's how they mistake and put it right where it's gonna be. So that they know it's in there and they think it was right where we were planning on putting our.
No, I mean, like the electrical company would know where the conduit is because when they go to install a wire, they would have to know where the conduit is to install the wire.
They probably know the start and the end, but not necessarily where it goes.
Spaghetti's down the
Miles.
right away.
Well, okay. Well, we'll have to come up with something, right?
Yeah,
So,
it's
keep us
the whole
updated.
corridor has not been easy.
Right.
The power company is willing to work. Get
Yeah.
them in line.
I need to get an update on where we're at.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. All right, if we'll move on to item G, Safe Streets Alliance discussion. I'll let Commissioner Lehman start.
I asked for this to be put on the agenda because he had a nice presentation made to us last month and he had some ideas or the presenters and they basically wanted to engage us in a discussion of going into the painting business. And part of it was because maybe we don't get our lines painted enough, or maybe there's a better way to do it. I have some concerns that this would have to start with our engineering department. If we were going to entertain this discussion, and we've been without an engineer for 16 months or 18 months. And I don't see how we could have a discussion about something that would happen on the roads without an engineer if we were going to. And then I personally I don't think the county road commission should go into businesses in competition with the private sector. I know it's been said, as people have said, well, within the city limits, the city has shared lanes, bicycles and cars in the same roadway. And the only thing that delineates this is the paint. And the city, I know, has had some discussion. I've listened to Frank Dettori from the streets department say, yeah, we're going to think about this some more. And I think if somebody was going to be in the painting business, it would be mostly in the city. And I would say that's where the shared use is. would be a better place for it. Because the
Lot more
city,
paint in the
there's a lot more pain in the city, and there's a lot of these shared use where we really don't have designated shared areas. I mean, Spice Blues are shellfish. So I would suggest that the Safe Streets Alliance start with the city, not us, if they really believe this is feasible. And I don't think we have the personnel to do any more than we're doing. I appreciate how Chris Elliott has stepped up and has taken a lead role in supporting our engineering department, but if this past summer was a perfect example of being overwhelmed, and anything else on engineering, I think is not so good for us right now.
If we were having a cost problem with our contractors or an availability problem with our contractors, I realize there are some timing issues that, but we have those also along anyway. When it's not it's not as expensive as buying a whole bunch of road building equipment, for example. I would think. However, it still would require a lot of training. And if not, hiring new people, equipment, and new equipment, and if not, it would require. There still would be a considerable amount of expense that it just financially doesn't make any sense, and it's not going to be serving the taxpayer very well. So I have to agree. I don't have a problem with using the possibility of going into a particular competitive mode with some of our vendors, or at least the discussion of it from time to time, just to let them know that we're not static on that for competitive reasons. But I think we don't really have a problem that we need to be solving by creating another in-house functionaries, functional system here, and adding to Dan's workload, frankly, managing that.
I believe there's compliance paperwork that goes along with payment. So we'd have to have a person that's not doing anything on the roads, but just complying with the rules and regulations of payment.
I agree. I think it doesn't make financial sense for us to get into the road painting business. Like the gentleman said, it was require us to purchase equipment. It will require us to hire additional workers to work on those projects. And unlike some of our other projects, road construction projects, road marking projects, we really have not had an issue other than, like you said, sometimes how the contracts were being let, the timing issue. Sometimes it went too far into the fall season. But I think those problems have, I don't think we encountered those problems this year or the previous year. So we have addressed those issues as well. But so I agree. It doesn't make financial sense for us. It's money that we are taking away from our roads to buy to do a project that really is not a problem. At this point, I'm also not expecting to get into the road painting.
We are discussing safe streets, right?
Yeah.
Or if we can.
Yeah, we can.
Okay,
talk
so,
about the
I just wanted
condition
to.
as well.
Do we have any kind of Dan? Do we have any kind of preliminary plans yet for Frankie as we move closer towards engineering something out there?
Yeah, we're contracted with OHM to design and build. We actually talk about this in my manager's updates, but it's probably a good time to talk about it.
Yeah,
We had a meeting about Frankie Road. We had all the key players there. We had the city, because one side of Frankie Road is the city, the other side is Garfield Township. So if you're trying to cross people over from the township to the city, who takes responsibility for that? That was kind of an interesting conversation to have there. TCAPS was there, Garfield Township was there. We had some really good conversations. We are looking at definitely doing some traffic calming thing. That's one of our key components we're trying to do there. So, we are in the beginning stages of trying to get this out here. And I see here they do have a refuge island and stuff like that. We were talking about doing something similar for traffic.
Yeah, I was looking at that, the refuge island, and I think it, honestly, I think it's too far to the north. To me, because what about the traffic coming in this other direction, wanting to turn into the school, for example? It doesn't really leave any space there. However, I mean, this is something, I mean, OHM, this is kind of their bailiwick. Now, just if I might ask, did you have an engineer or somebody do this?
We had, we have a person that did the renderings, the pretty stuff, but then you had it audited by a gentleman that was actually at that meeting, who is a civil engineer with multimodal countrywide.
Okay.
So a lot of this stuff is, specifics, the specifications are exact. It's not just a pretty picture.
Yeah.
And to your point, you know, the turn lane there, you know, I was part of the 2-day Safe Streets to School audit. I saw how the traffic functions there, and I identified the same thing. Most traffic doesn't turn left going north, and it might end up going into Myers and walking across.
Right.
Yeah. And anyhow, any other questions? I'm certainly happy to help.
But still a hold up to is if Meyer wants.
How much participation they want to be a part of.
Yes.
The other thing is, and Joe and I were briefly talking about this earlier, is there a water issue here that we have to consider when we're doing this?
I know that farther down towards Silver Lake Road, you're already looking at it, like when you do a roller, when you're doing that, you do what's called vibratory, and you vibe it. So to try to compact it, they already know that the water table's so high that they do
It just pumps it up.
they're gonna have an issue.
Oh,
So
good.
in the contract, I think they're writing it that it's just straight roller, you can't vibe it.
Okay.
Because when they did it on Silver Lake, they vibed it and they had an issue there.
To the south. Subdivisions draining, okay.
It definitely is. There's a large swamp right behind the school. The school is actually built on a swamp, so. There's issues there. When we went on, did cores sampling on it, the cores looked good. We had a good gravel base. We're gonna crush this asphalt up. We should have a good system here. We just, yeah. You gotta be a little bit careful when you get to the far side.
Right. All right. That's all I had.
All right. I would encourage you to go to our website because it does have the whole length of the road too, where I think it benefits. That's runoff the road. If you take the middle lane, if you don't mind, the middle lane out after you get south of Myers, that whole stretch, there's no need for a center lane. There's no place to turn into except the neighborhood. And that would be a whole lot less drainage, off the road because of.
Do we have a center lane that runs down?
The whole length of the road.
Oh,
Yeah.
They have looked at that, but there's concern that that would block residents from, you'd start to stack traffic up if you're trying to turn into your house. There's no turn lane to put in the middle of
the
the
street back there.
But going 2-lane has been a conversation of trying to, for traffic calming. I think it makes sense once you get past the school, but right there, off of, engineering standards and specs, that it could potentially cause, issues and accidents. So again, that's OHM looking at all this. This is their specialty. They're taking all this into consideration.
Isn't there also a little strip mall with Panera is at the end?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, if there's no further discussion we move on to Hampshire Drive bond resolution. And that is,
So the bond council gave us an updated resolution. They're still waiting I guess they had a pretty good response from the property owners. A lot of them want to pay it up front, so they aren't going to need a bond quite as much. And the project also came in under budget, so that they're not going to need to issue as much bond. So, in this bond resolution, it includes a revised township agreement, that he didn't have incorporated in the first resolution. So it's my recommendation that we approve this resolution in order for them to sell the bonds. It's already approved at the county's end. Once we get this, they'll be able to go out there and issue them, solicit the banks and hopefully get this closed before the end of the year.
Okay.
The project's complete.
What do we need to do?
I need a motion to adopt the resolution approving the issuance of the Michigan Transportation Fund bond for Hampshire Drive SAB.
I'll make that. Support this, like, it's not what we see. Do we need a number in there?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But it's in the resolution.
It's not a cost.
So we have a motion from Commissioner Underwood, supported by Commissioner Gilman, to adopt the resolution approving the issuance of the County of Grand Traverse, Michigan Transportation Fund Bonds Series 2025 for the Hampshire Drive Special Assessment Project. Any further discussion before we vote?
It's only taken 4 years.
No, they're really happy with it.
It's over.
I'm impressed that a lot of the property owners are willing to pay upfront.
Yeah, that's great.
That doesn't happen that often, so that's
It
pretty
was one of
good.
the hottest meetings I ever went to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, roll call please, Hiley.
Gilman,
Yes.
Horn, absent and excused. Lehman,
Yes.
Underwood,
Yeah.
Chasm.
Yes, resolution is adopted. Okay, next item is the purchase of 1-ton service body for shock truck. I don't see anything in the packet.
This is the next one.
Oh, it's an accident. All right. So Dan,
Sure, this is one we bring at the last board meeting. We weren't comfortable with the pricing. We wanted to see that get tightened up a little bit. So this is for the new service body for the cabin chassis that we already have on order. This will be around quite a while. This will be a 10 to 12-year truck. Once we make this purchase.
Motion to approve the service body for 25,600.
motion by Commissioner Lehman, supported by Commissioner Gilman to approve the purchase of the Knapheide service body for the price of $25,612. If there's no further discussion on the motion, roll call please.
Horn, absent and excused. Lehman.
Yeah.
Underwood,
Yes.
Gilman,
Yes.
Chasm.
Yes, motion passes. Next item, the MDOT cost participation agreement regarding Cass Road. And that is, well, Chris is not here, so we're gonna handle it.
I'll jump in here. So this is our portion of the first original project that was planned, starting from Robinson's Bridge, going up to the second section. This would be our portion going with the MPO funds.
And the total, our share is 187,877 out of the total project estimated cost of $1,035,000.
Okay, motion to approve the cost sharing agreement.
I'll support that. Motion by Commissioner Lehman, supported by myself, to approve resolution 2025-11-08. The MDOT cost participation agreement in regard for Cass Road from Robbins Bridge to 500 feet north of Parkman Road. If there is no further discussion on the motion, roll call please.
Lehman,
Yes.
Underwood,
Yes.
Gilman,
Yes.
Horn, absent and excused. Chasm.
Yes, motion passes. Next item, discussion of the draft 2026 budget bill.
Bill.
Apologize, I don't have a draft. A little behind.
Well, I was wondering where the draft is, but I figured you'll just recite from memory.
There's a lot going on right now. I
Okay,
don't have much time to sit down with Dan. So I'd like to, normally we have the public hearing on our regular meeting in December, so I think we should still set that as our public hearing date. But hopefully maybe we could meet maybe a week before. Either a
Yeah.
work session or a special meeting and kind of go through that way. You have a look at it, before the December meeting. So there's still some uncertainty with the new funding. We don't know yet if, we know the 600 million general funds up there, from the income tax has gone away as of October 1st.
Right.
And we don't know when they're phasing in the corporate income tax, if it's gonna come at the beginning, sporadic, monthly, or lump sum at the end. there's just a lot of questions right now. We do know, I mean, they estimated our increase in MTF to be about $6 million. That's assuming, you know, the gas tax goes into effect January 1st, which would be reported in February's earnings.
Right.
But so
We'll
on,
see it in
but
March.
there's still a lot of,
Right.
you know,
So would,
but
go ahead.
I think to be conservative, well, I'll probably just, you know, have it, if we know there's gonna be an increase, we'll have a conservative amount. And then as we get more information from MDOT on how the new funding package is just, you know, really gonna be rolled out there, we can make a budget amendment, you know, next year.
So our next meeting in December is December 18th. Do you think that we will have the information to have a public hearing on the 11th? Or maybe not for the public hearing, but
I
enough
think
information?
a review of it, yeah.
Okay, by December
Then we can
11th,
do then we can do a hearing.
then on the 18th.
And we just got through, I mean, we've been pulled in a lot of different directions, right?
Okay, no, it's fair enough. So why don't we schedule a special meeting?
That's actually like,
Yeah.
it looks like I'm at the Northern Michigan Road Conference.
Yeah.
On the,
On which date?
11th and 12th.
Are you here on the 10th? Or board on the 9th? I have to check.
Good, whatever you
Close to
guys
that
make it.
10th too. So
Tenth is-
ninth,
Tenth is a.
Well,
Sorry,
first of all, Phil, will you, I mean, I don't want to
No,
press your dead.
I think
Time frame.
I just gotta nail the end down and.
When do you guys have to drive down? 10th? Does the meeting start on 10th or?
There's like a welcoming on the.
Okay, so how about 9th? Can we do Tuesday the 9th? We have to do it before.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, you're clear on the 9th?
But that worked for me.
Okay, so let's schedule a special meeting for 6 PM on December 9th. And that will be just to review the draft budget.
do you want it as a work session or a special meeting?
Special meeting.
Okay.
Because I think we can also then, depending upon how it goes, we can also maybe address Mr. Mead's issue.
Looks like we do have Peninsula Township that night.
Well,
We might be able to get some else to cover it for us.
yeah,
We can't,
The time to ceremony is
7.
we have it earlier. There's not anything available. One day, I don't care.
You know, 5 for an hour.
yeah, the only thing is, what time is their meeting?
7, I believe that's 7 o'clock at night.
Okay,
Yep, 7.
We keep it limited, we should be able to get through it.
okay, well, we can do it at 5.
5 o'clock on the 9th. That what?
Sure. 5 o'clock on December 9th. Can you make it at 5?
I can make it.
What?
Guys do 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
We can always.
7 a.m.
We can always do it on December 7th. Or December 8th, sorry,
Monday.
at 6 o'clock.
Would you be okay with that?
I keep pushing it from the 11th, we have the
Yeah,
now
we're back at
on 8th, I mean,
If you
because.
could make the 8th, I'd be better on the 8th.
If, can you make it on the 8th? Will you have the, okay, so let's just do it on the 8th.
8
And
at
I don't
6.
care which meetings you are, you'll have to cancel those. Because we are not
So-
changing the.
Monday the 8th at 6.
Yes.
Okay.
Monday, the 8th and 6th, and if there are any other meetings, they'll have to take a back
Yeah.
seat.
Awesome. That's good. I like that.
I think it's maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a busy, December's such a busy.
Sorry,
month, you know,
you'll have to skip that one.
People to see.
All right, we will, next item is a closed session. I have a motion here. And I will make the motion to go into closed session pursuant to MCL 15.2681C to discuss with management representatives the status and update of collective bargaining negotiations with Teamsters Local number 214. Supported by Commissioner Gilman. Roll call, please.
Underwood,
Yes.
Gilman,
Yes.
Horn is absent and excused. Lehman,
Yes.
Cadlam.
Yes. So for those in the public,
We'll be back.
going back for a closed session and then we will come back.
Is this
myself to come out of closed session. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are in open session. Next item is the schedule for 2026. It's on the last page of the packet. That's Dan and Kylie, but I mean, I guess does anyone have any questions regarding the schedule? Looks pretty okay to me.
Yeah.
Unless,
It's fine by me.
okay,
By me.
do we have to approve this?
I think we do.
You can, yeah.
I think we do.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2026 regular meeting schedule as proposed.
Or
Motion by Commissioner Underwood, supported by Commissioner Gilman to approve the 2026 regular meeting schedule as presented. If there's no further discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes. All right. We are on to the manager's comments.
Sure. Already spoke about Frankie Road. The other thing I want to talk about a little bit was we got together, we do this once a year with the emergency manager, gets everybody together, gets the city, MDOT and ourselves all together. We talk about our big projects. We don't talk about the smaller ones that are going to be quickly ones, but the big ones, make sure we're not overlapping, how to work with emergency services. For us, obviously Cass, Hammond, Cedar Run, Frankie Road projects. It looked like everything will line up pretty good. The only concern that came out of our projects was the same time that we're doing Hammond Road, MDOT is going to be replacing the signal and I think adding a turn lane down at 3 Mile and 31. So there was a concern that on both ends of 3 Mile, it's going to be kind of hard to get through there. So neck down 31. They're not doing a full closure on 31, but it will slow it down. Obviously, then working the signals there, putting in turn lane. Just at the same time, that was brought up by the fire service. That was the only thing that was really concerned with problem. We did attend the light parade here this last weekend. I think that was a pretty big hit. That's the first time we've done that. Over really well.
I saw you on the news or something.
Guys did a pretty good job. Got the truck lit up really good. So looks like we got some pretty good snow events coming here in the next few days. Unfortunately, over Thanksgiving, the guys will probably be in, but equipment and everything is ready to go. So we're ready for it.
We're in
Great.
this.
Do you have any information on because I've heard different snow totals.
We've been
What are you
hearing-
expecting?
Yeah, we've been hearing different snow totals
Okay.
ourselves. It's so hard to predict the lake effect. We're seeing all lake
Yeah.
effects, but I've heard like 4 inches somewhere. around
Oh,
there.
sorry. Well, I think Wednesday evening.
Oh.
I've heard 4 to 6 inches.
I mean,
to
we're
9 to
going
12
over,
inches,
to the east.
So no.
4 inches is nothing. Yeah.
Everybody always likes to ask me
Gusty.
that, what kind of winter are we gonna have, how much snow we're gonna have, and I always tell everybody, I'll let you know in April.
I mean, 4 inches is like, come on. We can probably do turkey trotting. And 4 inches, but 9 to 12, yeah, now we're getting into it. Anything further? That's it?
No,
Have we ever considered just from a curiosity standpoint, setting up some kind of streaming truck thing, which would be interesting, I think, of course, unless there was an accident.
While they're snow plowing?
Well, there's no
They take
plowing.
the stream, don't they?
They are equipped with dash cams, aren't they? But I don't know if they.
Well, regular, I mean,
they're
you know,
not live feed.
Yeah,
Everything do
exactly.
replay.
Exactly. They use, yeah.
it'd be interesting.
Maybe some here and there. Whoops.
Be careful what you wish for.
I know.
I would not recommend live streaming that.
But it says.
Or if we
It
take
does get delayed.
if we could do the recordings of a route that's not had an accident.
Yeah, right. That's my main concern. Is that,
You know,
yeah.
so-and-so's mailbox.
Yeah, or someone's license plate is there.
Right.
Yeah, that's not in front of us. We don't want to do that. Okay, we'll go on to commissioners' comments, questions, and future agenda item. I'll start with you, Commissioner. Underwood.
I got 2 things. The Biter Bridge. Some of my conversations over the last month. Fire service wants to be involved because Blair's the responding for
that area, so they have to
That's a
change.
big
how
one I
they're
just
gonna-
missed when I mentioned.
Okay.
Yes.
But also on that, after I've been talking to the county administrator, after the first of the year, we're gonna try to put all the people in one room to figure out those parks, what's gonna happen, the time sky. And, so hopefully after the first of the year, we'll have a good report on this is what we think is gonna happen, this is what it's gonna look like. And my hope is to get that done before the bridge gets done, so people are used to not pulling off the road there. So the other one is.
That'll probably be the winter of 26, 27. It'll probably be after the first of the year. So it'll be 27.
27, okay. So anyway, we want to get that all arranged. Also with the county administrator, he and I have been discussing the rail service into Traverse City and the need to be able to bring in product. That too is gonna pick up after the first of the year. There is a new rail company that actually runs it, that's actually a rail company. They're interested in sitting down with us, when I say us, I mean the county as a whole. Because the county has a huge interest in rail service coming into the counties. Those are the two things we're gonna be working on next year.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Gilman.
The horse show lobbyist, lobbyists for the horse show folks, they reached out. They want to set up another meeting. We had a discussion several months ago with John DeMoose's office, and John DeMoose, and he actually, came and sat down. I'm not sure he's done anything that's gonna, get the results they want, which is basically Brackett Road repaved. I still think the solution to all that is another roundabout on 72, but that has to come legislatively if possible. Where Bates Road.
Okay.
I think that would solve everything because they have a turning problem, and
But it's a railroad.
that's part of the problem, but that railroad could also be shut off. It could be cut off at that point, I think. He said there's really nobody that uses it beyond that point anymore, or at least that was the understanding that we got from our MDOT guy. Was that Dan? Yeah, Dan was there. Dan Wagner. In any event, I don't know that we have anything new to give them as far as information, but they want to sit down and I responded. I just said, if you have information that Senator DeMoose's office has some answers, then let's set a time and talk about those answers.
I think we kind of left it as that, we're always looking to partner with people and.
They can come up, if they can come up with a map, we're gonna do some.
We can come up with some money to.
Yep.
Match.
You mean the horse people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Maybe
it'll be the township with
Whoever wants
Yeah.
to do the 50%
Yeah.
for the road.
I mean, the township wants to do it too, but nobody wants to reach into their own pocket yet. So.
Thank you, Commissioner Lehman. I don't have anything either, so, public comment? Okay. Taking that,
To adjourn.
So moved. All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned.